Hello everyone, my name is Roya, and today I am wrapping up Read Your Bookshelf-a-thon round 8. So I read 4 books, and part of a 5th one. I was already reading Warbreaker, so I read another 100 pages or so of that at the very end. So technically I actually got 1,600 pages read during this readathon. The first book that I finished was Vampire Academy number 4, Blood Promise, and holy shit. Okay, so I was not super impressed with the first 3 Vampire Academy books. They were kind of just okay, and then the third one was like a little bit better. And I knew that the series gets better because I've heard a lot of booktubers say that, but I really was not expecting like a huge difference. I kind of thought maybe it was like somewhat better or something like that, but I was not expecting this. I mean, this book, I seriously loved it so much that I immediately put the last 2 books in the series on hold at the library, and I finished this in 1 day. Less than a day. Basically, I felt like the plot really thickens in this one, and the stakes are raised. stakes are raised. Get it? Vampires, stakes. Okay, maybe that wasn't that funny. Okay, but anyway, the stakes are so much higher in this book. It is so much more gripping, and it gets really deep. And Rose is a much more likable character in this one because she's not the whiny little girl who has to have the last word all the time anymore. She like really owns up to her mistakes. She knows where she went wrong. She like understands that if she's not doing the right thing or if she's being selfish. And also what's really great is that we really see how amazing her friendship with Lissa is, because I mean, Lissa is really not as developed as Rose at all, and in the first 3 books she's actually pretty boring. Like, she's kind of just off to the side a lot more. But in this one, they're actually separated for the vast majority of this book, and we can really see what that does to each of them, and how much Rose is willing to go through, like, for Lissa. And for all her friends, really, and it's insane. I swear, you guys, if you've read the first Vampire Academy book or even the first 3 and didn't like it, seriously, read this one, and if you still don't like it, then I will not, like, bother you about it ever again. This book was so good. I literally don't understand how the series went from the first 3 books to this. It's completely different. The writing style is better too. I just don't get it. Then I read The Coldest Girl in Coldtown. There's kind of a theme here. This book is about a society that is actually the real world, but it's like an alternative society, I guess, where vampirism is an epidemic, and so if you get bitten by a vampire, you are infected and quarantined in a cold town, which is a city full of vampires, basically, and a girl named Tana gets bitten by a vampire, and it's a really small bite, like he barely scraped her with his teeth, so she spends the whole time not really knowing if she's infected or not. So she goes to Coldtown with her friend who is infected, and a crazy vampire dude. And basically, this book is really good for the last 100 pages, but honestly, until that point, it was really dry. The characters really don't have much of a personality. And, I mean, the two of the main characters, Tana and Aiden, are actually, they used to be boyfriend-girlfriend, and I really did not buy that. I don't know why they even had to have once dated, because they clearly don't have they don't feel anything for each other anymore. And then the main vampire dude named Gabriel is, like, he actually gets into he's actually a love interest for Tana, and I did not buy that relationship at all. I really felt like it just came out of nowhere. So overall, I really had to listen to this on audiobook a lot because, like, I just got the audiobook of this from the library and listened to it in the car mostly, so like while I was reading the other books, because it was just so slow that I could not, like, I just couldn't get through so much of it. So overall, I'd say, like, I was honestly gonna give this like two stars, but then the last 100 pages of it were actually really good. So I bumped it up to like 3 stars. And I know I barely ever talk about my star ratings on this channel, but overall I thought that the idea behind this book was very clever, but it just wasn't quite executed the way that it could have been. Next, I read The Oathbound by Mercedes Lackey, and this is about a swordswoman and a sorceress who are bound by an oath that is magically imposed upon them by a magical sword. And that sword leads them to conflicts they have to solve that have to do with women in peril. And basically this book is very episodic. Like, it felt like a manga, basically. Like, it's very episodic. There's not really it felt like an old TV show without a series arc, or where the series arc is not prevalent for like most of it. That kind of thing, because there wasn't an actual story arc that bound all of their adventures together until the last like 2 chapters. There were some slow parts in this book, and the storytelling was a little bit lacking, because I feel like this book is like the same age I am. It was published the year I was born. So basically it's an old freaking book. And so I feel like with a lot of like high fantasy books that were written like 25, 30 years ago, the storytelling kind of lacks a lot, and it really feels like a lot of the details about what's going on are not quite there. But overall, I really did like this book. The characters are really awesome. And last but not least, I read Choke by Chuck Palahniuk. The first few chapters, I was listening to it on audiobook, and it was so funny to me listening to like a narrator just say the stuff that's in this book with a straight face. Like, I could never have done that. Like, the first chapter or 2 talks about all this crazy stuff that sex addicts do, and I just literally don't know how the narrator said any of that stuff with a straight face. I don't know. But basically this book is about a dude who is supporting his mother who's dying in a nursing home, basically. Like, she's seriously, like, gone practically. Like, why is she alive at this point? And so to do that, he goes to restaurants every night and chokes on the food and gets somebody to save him. And then whoever saves him goes, oh, here's some money. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Really, the story also has a lot more, has to do with a lot more than that. And it's really, really entertaining and really strange. Honestly, this read a little bit more like a Jerzy Kosinski book than a Chuck Palahniuk book, which is kind of weird. But anyway, I really liked it a lot. These are the books that I read for RYBSAT. I'm definitely looking forward to the next round. I'm probably gonna pick like this spot right here for the next round. I don't know, unless it moves by then. So let me know if you participated and what you read, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye!